Now this is a follow-on from straight line putting. If you need to visualize how a golf ball moves towards a hole on any given putt that's going to break, then this is what you need to be watching out for. Andy Gorman-ThePASS, the putting and short game specialist, here to help you visualize how a ball breaks into the hole. Now, I get asked about eye dominance, and here's something to think about. We don't necessarily need to worry about it, but we do need to be mindful of it. Eye dominance is pretty straightforward. You either have a right eye or a left eye dominance. But it's going to change the way that you look at a hole on the basis that if I'm right eye dominant, as I am, I'm standing looking at a putt in this manner. I'm underneath the slope. This right to left putt is moving. You can see that I've got multiple sticks and rulers and all sorts of contraptions, paraphernalia if you will, that is going to help me to visualize this putt's going to help you to visualize the putt, because remember, we're trying to hit the golf ball in a straight line. And then the golf ball's going to curve across the green. So what has all the straight lines got to do with it? Well, I want you to visualize how you stand to the golf ball firstly when you look, and then how you're seeing the golf ball move towards a hole. I'm right eye dominant, as I said, and I would stand here with my right eye in line with the start line. That means that I'm standing below the hole, below the ball in the breaking putt. But if I come over here to a left to right putt, then ultimately I'm standing above the hole. I'm standing above the ball, and I see the putt differently because of that. My perspective is the ball's getting away from me. It wants to rush down to the hole. And we all too often stand over a putt in this manner and try to make the putt in that manner. We feel like we're above the hole and above the slope, and we have to help it down there. Where actually, really, all we needing to be doing is to roll the golf ball towards that hole down the target line. Now, I didn't hit that perfectly on line, and it took a little bit of a nudge on its way. There we go. Just taking the slope, moving the golf ball in a straight line first, moving it along the line of the stick. But it's more difficult for a right-handed golfer on a left to right putt if you're right eye dominant. But that's because of the way that you see things when you set yourself up. Likewise now from here, I am inside the putt. I'm at the low point of the break. And from here, I can roll the golf ball very nicely along the stick, a little bit too much speed, but ultimately I can roll the golf ball along the stick at the optimum speed it's going to take the break. There we go, nicely into the hole. Now the secondary stick, this batten here, is designed to help us to visually see what happens when a golf ball is approaching the hole in a straight line, as you can see from there. So basically what I've got is a stick that lines up, batten, that is lining up at the hole and the ball to the center of this putt. The golf ball needs to be going in above that putt. It really doesn't need to be going in much below here. It can, it will, but it's going to have to carry more speed if it's coming in low side, which gives it another opportunity to miss the putt because it's a little bit low and may catch the bottom side of the hole with a little bit of speed. It doesn't go in. It's got more chance if it's carrying a little bit of speed coming in from the top side. Again, you would have to have slightly misread it if you were carrying in a little bit of speed or just slightly overhit it. But what we need to be doing from here is visualizing how's the golf ball going to come in here. If this is the amount of break that it's got, aiming straight down the stick, it's got to be turning before it reaches this one. Otherwise, it's going to clatter into the stick's going to carry in too much speed. So it'll be somewhat inside. And there you can start to see it's starting to maneuver its way in towards the hole. It started its journey out here. and now he's moving down the slope. On a visual level, you can see how it's moving towards that hole position. Just move that baton out the way, and you can then start to visualize it from a perspective of rolling the golf ball into the hole. So as I'm seeing now this putt, my center, my physical center has moved to this side. And that's the essential part of it. I'm using the sticks to understand the visual center. Now, here's the parallel. That's why I've used that now. That's my physical center into the hole. It's parallel to this stick. You can see how that's working its way in. Of course, the golf ball is going to curve into the hole. If I get the speed right, that golf ball's on its way. It starts parallel to the stick. It moves down the slope as it follows the fall line. Essentially, what we're doing here is visually seeing the golf ball go into the upper right side of the hole. On the left to right putt, it will do the opposite. Of course, it will be the upper left side of the hole. And again, this is probably more difficult for most golfers right-handed. This is exactly what happens. Essentially, we're making the putt, but we're having to hit the golf ball down that line, optimum the speed, just a little bit shy. It's just caught enough of the hole at the very end. There may have been a little bit of assistance from the white stick, but essentially had just enough speed. There we go. That's a better putt, much more into the upper center of the hole. So I want you to practice your visualization. At the end of the day, we've got a couple of things we need to get right. Number one, we need to make sure we're hitting the golf ball at the optimum speed. Number two, starting it on the appropriate line. But if you cannot see that movement, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to become visual in terms of how the golf ball is moving into the hole. Start by looking at the upper section of the hole. Get a visual that says, right, I need the golf ball to be coming in on that right side. Is there a rule for it as to how much up? Well, essentially, if you can work it out from here, just practicing visually, seeing how that golf ball moves into the hole, then you can get a pretty good idea. This is a 2% slope. We've got 6 inches of break on this 6-foot putt. And so we've essentially got to allow that movement to come in from the 6-inch position above the hole. So if we can do that, we've got a fighting chance of being able to see the putt going into the hole. That's going to help you with your putting. That's, if you see the ball going in, you are going to be more positive about it. And guess what? I can tell you that there are many times where I've stood over a putt and I cannot see it going in. I can only see it missing. And when I pull the trigger, it's missed exactly where I thought it was going to go. We need to become one with the green. We need to become one with each putt and feel that we are making our progress towards that visual of seeing the golf ball going in the hole. Andy Gorman-ThePASS, the putting and short game specialist, helping you to achieve your desires and dreams on the greens, which is much fewer putts. I know that. So if you would like to do any work with me, if you'd like me to have a little bit of a look at your putting stroke, in the description and the comment, you can find my contact details. Email me at golf@andygorman.com and I will help you just by having a look, see how you can start your improvements on your putting stroke. I look forward to helping you. Look forward to seeing your strokes. Feel free to contact me and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.